Welcome to the Overcoming Mediocrity podcast, where today's top influencers and entrepreneurs on the rise share empowering stories and ninja tips to become the fuel that ignites a positive change in your life. Our guests don't simply coast through life. They don't let difficult situations stop them. They set big goals, keep their eyes on the prize, and they're joining us today to share insider secrets you can use right now to step into your power and live your purpose. Now, here's your host, Christie Ruffino.
Let me tell you about Carolyn. She went to school. She actually went to college. She got a great degree, and she had big dreams for her life. As a child, she wanted to do something important in the world. She really wanted to help people, and she was on the right path. But eventually, Carolyn ended up by giving up her dreams to help other people accomplish their dreams. She got married. She had children. She was a great mom and a great wife. And eventually she ended up by getting a job when she became an empty nester parent. And she got a job that she enjoyed. But the whole time she kept thinking to herself, someday, one day, it will be my turn and I can actually go back and create a business or live in a business that follows my dreams. She didn't know what that looked like. She didn't really even know it was possible, but she longed to be able to do something more. She went to her job every day. She did a good job. Her boss loved her. The people she worked with thought she was great, but she felt like she could do more. Can you relate with that? Well, I know I could. I'm Christie Ruffino. I'm the founder of the Overcoming Mediocrity Project and this podcast, and I've been working with women for the last 8 years, helping them identify their signature story. Because we all go through a story or a season in our life that we find to be very challenging. And that season helps us sometimes to figure out what we should be doing, how we can make a bigger impact in the world, and that we can apply the lessons we learned during that challenge to be able to solve a major problem in somebody else's life. We realize that pain became our purpose. And we wanted to pursue that avenue to be able to build a dream business around that. But we don't know what to do. So I've really been discovering different ways to help the women that I work with up level their existing business by identifying their signature story and using that as the major messaging in their business, or by creating their signature business. And one of the things that I use to help them determine, really hone in on their purpose is what I call the GPS factor. And I'm going to share what that is so you can hopefully apply some of these principles to your life and your potential business to make sure that you as well can stop playing the someday, one day game and really live into your dream business, or what I call your purpose-driven business. And doing it in a way that you find is making a huge impact in the world, but more importantly, is leveraging your time so that way you can help more people in less time and have more free space or free time or freedom. Time seems to be the key word there. Help more people in less time to create more time freedom in your life. So what is the GPS factor? Well, first I want to back up and say that you can have a purpose-driven business that may not be a revenue generating business. Because I believe in my mind or in my life that God has allowed certain things to happen in our life to be able to help us define our destined path. And it may be in a business, but it may not. Because I have a friend, she has discovered her true calling, her gifts, her passion, and her purpose. And it is all in the serving arena. She still has a job and she does a great job at it. But she is really pouring herself into her serving mission and using her gifts and using her passions and using all of her skills to serve the world in a great way with a philanthropic endeavor. So I just wanted to point that out because your purpose-driven business does not have to be a business that you generate revenue, cash revenue with. It could be a business that you generate revenue in the world, like non-cash revenue. So I wanted to point that out. But if you're not sure what your purpose driven business is, I want to go back to what I call the GPS factor. And what the GPS factor is, it's three different areas. I don't know if you are familiar with the Venn diagram, but you can make three circles and you can define the title for each of the circles. And where they all connect, that is where the magic happens. So, what you want to do is identify the first area, which is the gift section. This is what do you do that you find to be very easy? Something that's effortless to you, something that you can do without even thinking. It's a natural ability. It's something that you think, wow, this is so easy. Why doesn't everybody know it? Yet other people will come to you and say, oh my gosh, how do you do that? And for you, you're like, oh, well, it was no big deal. It just came natural to me. And so if you can take a sheet of paper, or I like to use a journal. I have a few journals that I use for various purposes. One journal I use for all of my conversations with my clients. I have another journal that I use with all of my conversations with my uh, prospects, kind of like a sales enrollment journal where I keep track of all of the different conversations I have with people before I start working with them. And I have journals for myself. I have a prayer journal. That this is basically my life journal. And this is where I kind of make notes because many times I go back and review the journal and something that I wrote at that moment, I will see in a different perspective later. So find a journal, take a Word document, whatever works best for you, maybe notes on your phone, but identify your gifts and make a long list of all of the areas that you feel that you excel at, that you do naturally, things that you enjoy doing, things that you think other people, if once you have experienced this in your life, maybe you don't really think about it, but you have found out that other people have said to you that that is so hard for them, but you find it to be very, very easy. So make a list of all of your gifts. The next list that you need to make in the GPS factor are your proficiencies. These are all of the skills that you have learned through others teaching you. Maybe you learned them on your own. Maybe these are skills that you have figured out how to do. I know for me, there are things that I find I am drawn toward. And as a high school student and actually a college student, I went to school to be a graphic designer. I learned how to build websites. I learned how to design logos. I learned about branding. It was um, a marketing degree is what I actually had. And so my current job isn't in that area, but I find that I am gravitated toward my website building. I built all of my websites. I learned how to do it myself. Yes, I learned in school how to build a website, but that was with Dreamweaver and coding and all of the stuff that we don't really need to do anymore. So I actually right now have learned in the last, I don't know, 5, 10 years, how to build WordPress websites. And so that's one of my proficiencies. That's a skill that I've learned that I really enjoy doing. So you may think of other areas, other proficiencies, other skills that you have learned that you really enjoy. Make a list of all of them. Really determine all of the different things that you have become really great at. And those would be your proficiencies. And finally, we're going to go to your strengths. Now, I like to look at strengths as your learned gifts. These are things that you have become good at, not because you chose to, not because you were born to be good at them, but because you were forced to be good at them. These are strengths that you have developed through most likely tough times. Could be endurance, could be patience, it could be your unstoppableness. Maybe there are other kind of strengths that you have learned to do. I know for me, this may relate, this may not relate, but I learned a lot about the law and the courtrooms and legal documents through my divorce. We initially had a very amicable divorce when I went through this many years ago, and we decided to do all of the documents ourselves, which of course meant I had to do it all myself. So we did a pro se divorce, and I dived into learning about what had to be done to do your own divorce. And so since then, have learned how to become very good at creating legal documents. Now, of course, I don't use them unless they are checked and rechecked by an actual professional lawyer. But I love getting started on it because what that does is help me arrange my thoughts, look at it from a different perspective, and make sure that everything that I want to be covered in that document is addressed. And then that way, the legal professional doesn't miss anything based on my perspective, and then will delete things that they think are not relevant. And so that is an example of a tangible strength. And then, of course, all of the other different things I mentioned earlier about being unstoppable and patient and endurance and all of the different skills that I've learned, not because I wanted to, but because I was forced to because of my life situations. So at this point, you should have 3 lists. And I encourage you to really have that document or those pages in your journal to be a live document and evergreen, and you keep adding to it, because the more you keep adding to it, the more you recognize all of these amazing gifts and skills and strengths that you have. But more importantly, you're going to use that as the blueprint to really determine where you want to focus your efforts, how you want to help people, and what your purpose driven business will look like. So, the GPS factor is just one of the different things I work with my clients to ensure that they're on the right track of building their dream business. And so, what I would love for you to do is Um, I have a 5-day challenge on my website at christieruffino.com. And I will be doing the next one in September or August. And I would love for you to get on the waiting list for that next challenge so you can go through all of the steps. So the GPS factor is what we focus on day one. Would love to have you participate in my next challenge. And if you feel that you are on the path to owning your signature story and building your dream business, I would love to invite you to join my Epic Mastery Program. My 5-day challenge, my Purpose Profitization Challenge, is free, but my Epic Mastery Program is a paid program. And we are going to be walking through all of the steps to create your lead magnet, your simple business model which would be duplicatable. What I love is being able to create your year-long business plan of what you are going to be doing every month. So it's completely planned out, it's completely scheduled. You can schedule in your free time and your vacations, and then you have programs and launches that are just on autopilot. We want to have an evergreen lead generation process and a prospect funnel, a high converting prospect funnel. So, all of these things are going to be the steps that we go through together as a team in my Epic Mastery program. And each of those areas are all focused on helping you go through the steps together in a streamlined fashion. And my Epic formula is all about E, embracing your story, P, pursuing your purpose, I, increasing your impact with automations and systems, and C is cashing in on your connections, because the final component that we're going to be working on as a team is to create joint venture partnerships. Do you know what that means? Well, what it is you create an extended sales team of people that are helping you promote your business. I founded the Dynamic Professional Women's Network 18 years ago, and it is an industry exclusive, referral focused lead generation organization for women. And the whole power of that is to create power partners. It's to create teams of other professionals that are learning about your business and will naturally refer clients to you, as well as you refer clients to them. And when you have your simple, duplicatable business model planned out for the year, and you align with other business partners that have their year-long plan defined, and you schedule your launches with their launches, and more importantly, you're providing them very easy copy and paste content to share with their friends, with their email list, with their social media following. What that does is it increases your reach exponentially. And that is the final piece that we work on together in my Epic Mastery program, is to create these teams, these pods of uh, like-minded, ambitious women who are all out there building successful, purpose-driven businesses so you can support each other on your journey. So if this sounds interesting to you, I want you to I would really invite you to schedule a Epic Mastery Discovery call with me. It's free. It's going to be a short 20 to 30-minute call, and it is just for me to learn a little bit about what your goals are for your business, where you're at now, and we can determine if your joining our team would be a good fit for you. The links for that free discovery call will be in the notes below, as well as the links for our women's professional network, the Dynamic Professional Women's Network, that will be in the show notes below, as well as a link for you to share your signature story in our Overcoming Mediocrity series of books and podcasts. And don't worry, if you do not know what your signature story is, that is okay. We have a 6-month program that will walk you through step by step of defining your signature story, writing your signature story, having your signature story published, and having your signature story be featured in our book that becomes an Amazon best-selling book, so you can say you're an Amazon best-selling author. In addition, you have additional coaching calls with me, and you have a lot of visibility as we market you and your book and your business and your lead magnet to our audience and all of our joint audiences. Now, I don't discourage you from having your own book. I never would discourage that. But being in a co-authored book will give you a ton of visibility, because you have, I would say, 18 to 20 other women getting your story in the front of the eyes of all of their audiences as well. So the reach for your business is huge when you're in a very successful, strategically marketed anthology book, which is what we have with our Overcoming Mediocrity series of books. I'm in the process of bringing women together for our 11th book, which will be out in the fall, early winter of 2021. And I have a waiting list of women for our 2022 book. So reach out to me in any of the links below if you want to just have a discovery call to see where you fit. I would love to be able to help you. I have a ton of open calls that I have booked, blocked out in the next 2 weeks to be able to support you on your journey to have a purpose-driven business that is scalable, leverageable, and then eventually, quite possibly, even sellable. So this is Christie Ruffino. I enjoyed sharing this information with you. I hope that my GPS factor, you found that to be beneficial. And I want to leave you with one final thought. Have you ever gotten in your car, sat down, put your seatbelt on, and started driving? And then you arrive at your destination, you take your seatbelt off, and you think, how did I get here? I don't know about you, but that's happened to me a couple times. You drive on autopilot. Just like our life, our days, our weeks, our months go by so fast. We become on autopilot. And then we look back. Maybe it's our birthday. Maybe it's New Year's. And we reflect on the previous year and we think, well, heck, what did I do this last year that really made a difference in the world? What have I done the last 5 years? Well, I encourage you to make a decision right now to not let that happen anymore. I encourage you to make a decision to identify your purpose-driven business and take that first step of making it happen. So you can put your head on the pillow every night thinking, wow, I helped somebody today. Or wow, I got a great email or a great message from one of my clients that just loves how I've been able to support them. Wouldn't that be wonderful? It is. Trust me, it is. So I would love to help you with that. Please reach out to me. Let's have a Epic Mastery discovery call or just a discovery call in general through the link below, and we will see how I can support you on your journey to have a purpose-driven business and an epic life. Thank you, my friends. And if you learned anything great on the show today, please share it with somebody you know and you care about, because we always learn more by sharing with others and teaching with others. And if you loved our podcast, we have a great lineup of guests that we feature every Wednesday. Now, I did a solo appearance today, but typically I have our episodes with a guest. And we have a ton of great episodes that you can see on the Overcoming Mediocrity podcast. And would love to have you check us out, like and love and rate our shows and subscribe to our channel. Leave a review on iTunes. That would really help us out and increase the visibility for our clients and our guests that we have on our show. Other than that, I hope you have a great rest of the day, and I will see you soon and hope to talk to you on your free discovery session. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Overcoming Mediocrity podcast, where we believe that everyone can have the business and life of their dreams once they've learned the art of mastering their story. Mastering our stories is the key to everything we want in life. Our stories can either hold us back or they can propel us to new heights. We can choose. You can choose. Choose to overcome mediocrity with us. Let's achieve greatness together. To learn more, visit www.overcomingmediocrity.org. And don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review this podcast.